we need to talk about The Last of Us TV show because they are officially changing the story dramatically. And it feels like some of the fans are happy about this. They're excited to see a new look at this universe that we've loved so much for the last 10 years. And some people seem to be incredibly pissed. But I wanted to discuss this because I just finished watching episode 3 and it was completely all new content. It was something that did not exist in the game, and they even killed off somebody that exists in the video game, and now I guess they're just dead in the TV show universe. But let's talk about all of the situation. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you are enjoying this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So, what we're talking about is this. The Last of Us TV show episode 3 just finished airing here a couple minutes ago, and you can see it's currently the big trending hashtag across the planet is The Last of Us and Nick Offerman, which is this fine gentleman. This is Frank, obviously, and this is Bill. Now, if you've played The Last of Us, these characters are incredibly important, but in the game, we never met Frank. He was dead when the game began, but Nick Offerman playing Bill is such an interesting, dark character in the video game. He's a guy who has his own private playground. He's taken over a tiny town and just literally put up booby traps and alarm systems, and just as a prepper has decided to make his own way. And it seems like the only person he ever let into his city, and of course his heart, has been Frank. Man. So the episode today focused completely on these two characters. It simply showed them existing. It actually was a 20-year flashback starting at the rounding up of people, talking about the first apocalypse when the freaking cordyceps first started to destroy humanity and civilization. But Frank and Bill, they weren't shocked by this. Bill had already built up his supplies. He'd already built up his own private life with bunkers and 80 million shotguns. So when suddenly Frank shows up, they sort of form this very interesting, loving bond. Now, a lot of people seem to say they were bored by this episode. A lot of people are saying that they were bored of it because, really, this episode didn't have any Joel or Ellie. They were in the introduction and they were at the end of the episode, but this episode was 88 minutes long and they were probably in about 5 minutes of it. Instead, the entirety of it was completely new plot lines. And so some people are saying like, wow, this was cool, but look at this. The show gets worse by each episode. I never wanted to see this. I wanted to see the game brought to live action. Bill falls in love with that man in one day, but he's paranoid. This felt forced, and the lack of interaction with modern-day Joel and Ellie was a big sacrifice, in my opinion. Fairly good episode, but the emphasis on characters, more largely throwing them away, felt out of place. Now, I think this episode was incredibly well done, but I guess the biggest change that does feel a bit bizarre after watching 3 episodes of this is the fact that, really, there is none of the gameplay segments. All the combat where they've been battling clickers or trying to take down raiders or even sneaking up on military people and, trying to choke them out. All of that stuff has been removed. Thus far, after, over 3 hours of content, almost 4 hours of television, we've had them sneak past a couple clickers and nothing else. Now, personally, I guess I'm open-minded about it. I'm still very much enjoying the TV show, but it is weird that all of Bill's town, which is such a great, important part of the Last of Us video game story, it's just gone. They just skipped past the booby traps that he built, the times where we saw him going against clickers and saving Joel and Ellie, the really interesting interactions with Ellie talking to Bill, which I felt like was really great in the game itself. It showed Ellie a chance to talk to somebody besides Joel, to sort of reflect on the people that have been stuck in the outside world. Now, this episode was good, but the weird part of this, and I'm going to spoil the end of the episode, they killed Bill. They killed Frank and Bill at the very end of the episode. And man, it's baffling because, I mean, Bill is a tragic character by necessity. I mean, he's a person that's barely alive in his own self-imposed captivity. I mean, I'm a big believer in the fact that Bill staying inside of his own personal fortress is probably not particularly pleasurable. The only light in his life comes down to being with Frank. So the fact that they choose to die together, it's not like a big plot twist, but I guess I was kind of stunned that they made Bill so much softer. Frank was so well written, well acted, but them just having this quiet dinner and drinking poisoned wine together to die, man. I guess I feel weird just because you can tell they're having to make big changes to try and get this to fit more in line with a television format. Of course, they're trying to make this something that narratively is going to be enticing, that's going to make you want to watch the next episode. And definitely, since I know the Raider ambush happens next episode, they've already showed us a trailer, I'm definitely excited for it. But even in the replies to my tweet, I do see people that are saying, look at this. It's not what I was expecting. It felt a bit weird to watch. I felt let down. No spoilers, but this was one of my favorite sections of the game. I mean, no hate against anybody else. I was very, very enamored with this episode. I thought it was great, but I'm a little bit nervous because I think I know where this is going. They have already actually confirmed that they're going to be doing a Last of Us Part 2 Season 2 of the show itself. The entirety of Season 1 is going to be the first game. So the events with Tommy, the cannibals, all the great epic events that I've loved in that game for the last 10 years, that's all going to exist as it currently does. But I've been sort of thinking about this. How are they going to handle Season 2, the original show, the first game, this first season is so finite. The ending of it is, of course, going to be the very famous hospital scene that we're all sort of leading up to. And I guess I'm kind of just thinking about that, okay, going from there, I mean, doesn't Last of Us Part 2 is 8 years in the future? Are we still going to have Bella Ramsey as Ellie? I don't think so. I mean, we have to replace Ellie as an actress if we're going to be doing a time jump. And that means we're going to have Pedro Pascal encountering Abby. Now, I have never, ever been shy to express the fact that I do not like Abby as a character. I don't have any issues with a big, brawny woman completely destroying clickers and being a badass. No problems with that. I just never enjoyed the fact that she kills Joel. I've always just thought that I cannot help but feel a constant vitriol to the person who killed a character I love so much. I mean, it makes sense. In universe, Joel has killed a lot of freaking people, so obviously he's going to eventually have his own terrible demise, but Abby dishing it out is such a horrible, violent death. Now, going into the TV show, heavy spoilers here. He's a great YouTuber, does a lot of TV show breakdowns. Well, he basically pitches the idea that they should probably start season 2 with just a long cutscene, maybe 2 or 3 episodes, sort of like what they just did with Frank and Bill. Start things off with Abby growing up, bonding with her father, him getting into his sciencey lab stuff, and of course trying to work on a cure, and then eventually being killed by Joel. Like, the biggest problem I have with Last of Us Part 2's story has been just the fact that it starts off with just such a big shocker. It's just straight up, hey, here's the world. It's bleak, but it has that glimmer of happiness. Oh, wait, nope. All hope is dead. Joy is illegal. That's what I always took from Last of Us Part 2. So if we're going to try and find some sort of moral center to this in the second season, I think it's going to come down to trying to figure out how best to handle Abby. Because personally, as it currently stands, it does feel like people are obsessed with Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal being Joel was a brilliant casting. It works so exceptionally well. You can see even right here now, episode 3 is trending. I mean, it's just so good. So when they come to the point where they have to kill Pedro Pascal, I think it might kill the television show. I think it might drastically hurt the viewership. Normies are not going to be happy when they watch a woman come up with a freaking 9-iron and crack it across the skull of Joel 20 or 30 times. Even if he has it coming, that's going to be a tough sell. With the changes we've witnessed thus far with the Last of Us TV show, I think they're going to try and find a way to soften the blow in some metaphorical way. But what do you guys think about this? Are you enjoying the Last of Us TV show, or do you kind of hate it? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below, and please keep dreaming and subscribe. And I'm filming this video at like midnight, so I'm a little bit goofy. All right, morning, Max. You have to edit this. I'm going to sleep.